name's Caitlin and I'm an intuitive painter using mostly acrylic. I love bright colours, I love anything witchy and spiritual, and my goodness, do I love art journals. Which brings me on to the topic for today. So, we're going to take a dive into all of my current art journals and sketchbooks. And there's a lot. Like, a lot. So, before we get into this fat stack, I thought I'd share with you a little bit about how I use journals now, as opposed to how I used to use them in my art practice. So, art journals and sketchbooks have been a really big part of my whole journey as an artist. And I've been doing art my whole life. And I remember in primary school always having a little sketchbook on my desk, and like a couple of my other friends would have them on their desk too. And when I say sketchbook, I mean like these were actually just like $2 little spiral notebooks, but we'd race to get our work done in class, and then we'd just like try to sort of outdo each other with like the weird stuff that we'd draw. I remember drawing a lot of little like alien spacecrafts with little tiny, like almost like little alien ant people inside them. And I really liked designing these crafts, and like it was like a cross section so you could see what all the rooms were like in this spaceship. You look back on like when you're a kid and you're like, oh, so I've always loved that stuff. Okay. So the love of like drawing in little books and stuff started at a really young age. And as I got into high school, it just grew and grew, and I would say that I probably did 95% of my art in some kind of sketchbook up until really a couple years ago. So I've got a huge box filled with all my old sketchbooks from the course of like 13 to 15 years, something like that. So that's where I was making my art. I just have always loved sketchbooks and art journals because A, I love books. I love them as just objects, and I think I've always been drawn to, you know, how they compile everything in like the one place. You know, it feels like a very personal thing, and I over the years I've explored a lot through my sketchbooks and art journals. They've just been an amazing tool for me to process things. So that's why I love them so much. And I would highly encourage anyone, if you are using a sketchbook or art journal, or you're new to it at all, don't rip pages out, don't throw them away, even things in them that you think are terrible and you absolutely hate. Just let them be, and try to not let it put you off the whole book and you know, you just want to scrap the whole thing. Because as I'll show you in the sketchbooks and art journals that we're going to get into, a lot of the time I actually go back into old sketchbooks and art journals, and I will cut things out, like I'll cut certain bits out, I'll paste them into a new book, and I'll turn it into like a new artwork. And I'm so glad that like I've kept pieces that I didn't like, because I was able to turn them into things that I do really like. And also it's funny how with hindsight you can feel differently about things. I've never worked in as many journals as I am now in my entire life. I've always been pretty much like a 1 to 2 sketchbook kind of person, running at a time. But last year, I don't know what happened. I had a fit of inspiration and I pulled out a bit of a stack of journals that I had let go and I hadn't ever finished, and they were just sitting there. And just having them sitting there like so unfinished bugged me. So I had to get them out, and I would love to be able to finish all these at some point. I'm looking down and there's a lot. I don't know how long this is going to take me. It's going to be probably a process over a few years, but I think it's also going to be a good exercise in patience and in slowing down, because social media is always showing us like people are pumping out sketchbooks, they're pumping out art journals. You know, they're finishing things in a month or a couple months, and I just want to show that it's also normal for things to take years and years, and you can put them on the back burner and you can get them out again, and it doesn't have to be so quick. It can be an evolving process. Now, I wanted to sort of like clarify what my definition is of art journals versus sketchbooks, because I know some people are probably a little bit confused by that, and sometimes I do use the terms sort of interchangeably, but there are crucial differences between the two. So to me, a sketchbook is more something that I use for like ideas, concepts. It's more closely linked to my painting practice and growing skills and experimenting with things that I will translate into more like finished artworks. So it's a place for thumbnailing and sketching and stuff, but sometimes, you know, I also do more like finished and polished artworks in a sketchbook. And I'd say a sketchbook to me, usually I'll want something that has quite good paper. I'll have a messy sketchbook we'll get into that, getting ahead of myself. But for my general sketchbook, I like something with some good paper that I can use watercolor or whatever on and create finished pieces in there if I want to. Now, art journals to me are somewhere that's a little bit more, I guess, experimental. I experiment in my sketchbooks as well. My art journals will probably have they'll have more collage-y elements. They'll have more writing, and it's more of like a layered collage-y type deal. And I'll work quite quickly, and it's more feeling based. I'm getting feelings and emotions out, and I'm working very intuitively. Whereas in my sketchbook, I might be a little bit more focused on a specific concept and have a bit more of like a goal focus. My art journals aren't as goal focused, and you know, they're just a bit more like scrapbooky, collage-y kind of feel, you know? But in saying that, even my sketchbooks and my art journals for the past year or whatever, I have not spent as much time in. Like I mentioned before, I used to basically just make art within art journals. But as I've moved towards spending a lot more of my time painting and wanting to create more finished paintings and become a better, more skilled painter, and that's where my passion lies now, I don't spend as long in my sketchbook. It's more of a means to an end. I probably actually don't use it enough, but that's why it also takes me a long time to fill them now, because instead of working through a sketchbook and spending a lot of time in there, I'm in there for as little time as I can be, because I just wanna make paintings, you know? So the sketchbooks and journals I'm gonna share fall into what I discovered is about 4 categories. So I've got messy sketchbooks, which basically are, you know, the paper doesn't have to be amazing. I will do my absolute messiest chicken scratch, thumbnailing, just the most almost indiscernible to the human eye sketches that I don't think anyone else could decipher, but I can. So it's more just me literally just getting ideas out and not being precious at all. I've got writing focused art journals. So these ones I use more as like for my journaling, for writing, but I also have visual elements in them as well. I'll doodle in them, I'll collage in them. So they're not strictly just a writing journal, but they are more writing focused. I have, like I mentioned before, good sketchbooks. So that means like they're good paper. And if I'm thinking of doing a more polished piece in a sketchbook, those are the ones I'm gonna grab. And then I have just like art journals where it's just messy, chaotic, and the spreads might take me a while to finish. I'll flick back and forward, and we've just got a lot going on. As I take you through the journals, you're gonna see what I mean with those categories. So, enough chit chat and let's get into it.
Oh, my fingers fall, my hands untold, and can't be sold. My prayer is only if you call, I'll reach that jump. My will be done before I left here. Hold me down another minute, I know. If you're in touch with me, I'll give you my all. I went hard when I was in it. If I can be alive, then I'm wishing I'll forgive you. Find my wings, lift me up and turn me to something. And oh, find my wings. expensive life. And I remember when I opened pills to take 12. Health is a cure to the curse, and lately it saved me from myself. So I refuse to be reckless with my health, dreaming up for the mission. You cannot touch me when I get on pushing up. Just me to you, they won't get involved. I'll take a heavyweight to the wall. Oh, my fingers fall, my hands untold, and can't be sold. My prayer is only if you call, I'll reach that jump. My will be done before I left here. Hold me down another minute, I know. If you're in touch with me, I'll give you my all. I went hard when I was in it. If I can be alive, then I'm wishing I'll forgive you. Find my wings, lift me up and turn me to something. No, find my wings in the time I have, as long as I'm functioning. And why wait until this day is on your back? I'm painting my way when it's too dark to keep track. I know I'm gonna find my wings, lift me up and turn me to something. No, stay with me for a little while. I traded it for a second now. Silver dollars and champagne for the trouble. It's a t-shirt in the backseat of your car. Head down just like your father taught you. Stick around when the walls start to fall. Good God, has anybody notice you sat at the table and you listened to her scream? I know we've had a few too many. I'm not sure what to believe. Beauty queens and rock and rollers, crystal glasses, Coca-Cola.
one more time, I said I wanna play that back till the boy is dead. It's the generation that have been misled. A lot of space to advertise in my head, oh yeah. I don't wanna take up space, I just wanna live good through the 808. I don't really buy in, but I can't opt out. I gotta pay bills and you can't off clout, so and you can't off clout, and you can't off clout. Bounce back, I'm a kid on my desk. Shiny tune CD like 2006. Had to pick up games to pick up sticks. And a lock clock in my whip. Pack of wolves, not pigs when it comes to bricks. Lines on stage when it comes to tricks. You can't fuck with my wardrobe, witch. We're the kids with the pumped up kicks. Yeah, it's just for kicks. Yeah, we do it just for kicks. Yeah, it's just for kicks. Yeah, but it's all just for kicks. You can catch me in Narnia. Oh yeah, get the party up. You can catch me in Narnia. Oh yeah, get the party up. Look how we want with the wild things. Do what we want with the wild things. Go who we want with the wild things. Go where we want with the wild things. Look how we want with the wild things. Do what we want with the wild things. Love who we want with the wild things. Go where we want, where the wild things.
So I hope you enjoyed that little journaly chat and what turned out to be quite a thorough look inside all the sketchbooks and art journals that I'm using at the moment. If you did, I would very much appreciate if you subscribed, and if you liked the video, you can follow me on Instagram. It's @bycaitlinbriggs, and all my other stuff is down in the description below, so you can find me in all different places. And just before I go, I just wanted to share with you guys, I'm creating a course, an art journaling course called the Colour Collab Art Journal. It's a very unique journaling experience and I'm super excited about it, and it is perfect if you are brand new to art, you want to be creative but you don't know where to start, or you've been doing art for a while and journaling but you've lost some inspiration and you just want to reignite that spark again. So it's a unique journal that I've created myself, and it's also a video course with hours and hours and hours and hours of real-time journaling footage, so we can journal together. So for more information on that and to buy it now for a very limited time at a special pre-sale discount, it's at that discount because I haven't quite finished filming the video content, but you can get it cheaper, way cheaper, if you buy it now, and then you'll get the full video content sent to you when it is done. So that's why it's very limited time. It will never be this price ever again. But anyway, if you're interested, I'll have information down below so you can read all about it and see if it's for you. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.